Grace, Grit and Grand Jeté at the Joburg Ballet Academy, where young dancers are getting a rare chance to pirouette towards their dreams under the watchful eye of those who, of course, dance on South Africa's biggest ballet stages. And so this month, all eyes are on the stage at Roodepoort Theatre, where 10 young hopefuls will compete in the Academy's very first Debut Dancer Bursary Award presentation. And so for a little bit more, we're going to be chatting to Burnise and Nicole. Good morning to the both of you, and thank you for joining us bright and early.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. So I was asking you about the terms. I remember doing ballet many moons ago, but it's exciting to see the next generation and perhaps what's on offer. Perhaps you can tell us about the importance of this academy and the work that's being done.
Well, when we started the academy, it started because they wanted to give dancers with talent, students that have exceptional talent, the chance to just work with professional dancers and to see what it's like to be in a professional ballet company. So at the moment, when they train with us, we see them twice a week, and then they start learning what it's like to be in a company. It's very different than when they're in their private studio. So they have the chance to see what it's like to work in a quarter ballet, and then they feel more prepared once they enter the company.
Okay, and I mean, because you have many years behind your belt, I mean, for both of you, what does that bring for the experience at large? I mean, you're obviously noticing things that they wouldn't in a normal setting.
I think when we teach the academy or the young dancers, you know, what's different to studio life is they do the syllabus work and they enter exams, whereas we look at them from a professional experience, and we try and, so our training, I mean, ballet is ballet ultimately, but we try and train them with a professional eye, which is different to syllabus work. So it really, I feel it really prepares them for, you know, hopefully when they go into Joburg Ballet, they've got that professional knowledge that we try and give them.
The Debut Dancer Bursary that's now come about. I mean, the significance of this and the initiative behind it. Tell us a little bit more about the importance of it.
Well, there used to be a bursary called the White, and that ran for 35 years, and unfortunately that came to an end, and the whole ballet community felt very sad about it because it was something all the young dancers looked forward to every year, to audition for it and then to work on a class and solo work and a group number for 6 months, and then to do a performance. So when that came to an end, we had chat at the academy and we decided that it's really sad, we need to try and have something start up again. So we were very lucky that we had 2 sponsors that came forward and we could then start this new bursary. So, yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, there are 10 exceptional dancers in this, and tell us about how they were selected, what that process, what process they had to undergo, and what are the phases going to then look like if we're looking at them competing against each other?
Yeah, so I've been the teacher and I've been coaching them for the past 6 months. And so they all, any studio can enter, you know, they come for an audition and there's a panel of judges and they select however many they want to select or however many are talented or the strongest out of the group. And so then they've worked with me for the 6 months and they do a full class. They do a solo and a group dance, which I've choreographed. So I've prepared the whole class, and they're really a lovely bunch of such a lovely group. I've worked with them, and they're so excited for next week. They really, really are. But what I've really tried to get through to them is, even though it's a competition, they're a group and they need to work together. They're there to support each other, and they're there, you know, we'll be happy, or they'll be happy with whoever wins, and they're there to support each other as friends as well, because the ballet community is ultimately quite small, and we, even though it's, you know, sometimes it can be very competitive, you know, I always say I want the ballet community to you know, come together and support each other.
Yeah.
So,
and the lifelong lessons are also important, right? Of discipline, amongst many others. And you're fusing contemporary and classical, you know, styles. Tell us a little bit more about that for people not privy to what that actually means. Yeah.
So in the academy, they have 2 classes a week. The one is classical ballet and the other is contemporary or any other dance form. So we get teachers that were professional dancers or that have choreographed before, and they get to work with the dancers. So now in these performances, we've got the academy performing 2 pieces, a very classical piece from Giselle, which is a ballet that the company does. And then also we've had a contemporary piece choreographed on the dancers, which they love, because it's something, it takes them out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes in studios it's very classical if they're not with a specific contemporary teacher. So this way they get to experience that as well.
There's that 10,000 hour rule that, you know, we've all heard about, putting in the work.
Yes.
I mean, in reality, to perform on this level and to get the output that's needed to meet the standards that you require, what does a day in the life of a ballet dancer look like?
Yes, well, as a professional ballet dancer, so, well, my schedule, and I'm sure most dancers are, so I would get up early, I would go to the gym before I would even start my warm-up class with a company. So I would go to the gym, put in my own training session. We would have about a class for about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. And then you'd go into rehearsals until 6 o'clock the whole day. So it's pretty much 6 to 8 hours of dancing. You know, I always used to say, it's pretty much you're doing cardio almost 6 to 8 hours a day and 5 to 6 days a week. So it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of work. You have to love it. It has to be your passion. But it's amazing. To me, it's the ultimate job. It never felt like a job, even though it is a job. It's but yeah, it's amazing. It's really, to be on stage is just absolutely
it's poetry in motion. That's what it looks like from an audience point of view. I need to wrap, so I just want to know, in terms of the academy and the work going forward, the importance of ballet. Tell us about what that looks like in South Africa and what that vision is going forward.
Well, we definitely want to try and have this bursary repeat itself every year. We're going to work towards that. And then, yeah, we need to bring up these young dancers. So there is dancers for Joburg Ballet. You know, what happens a lot is that our best dancers tend to go overseas, and we want to try and stop that. We want to try and have them want to be here in South Africa, and Joburg Ballet plays a big part in that.
Well, thank you for joining us and for sharing the story. Wishing you all the best of luck ahead of next week's finals. Of course, Burnise, Silvius, Nicole, Ferreira-Dills this morning. The two dancers, of course, once dazzled audiences in principal roles, and they're now helping the young performers to take their very next steps onto the stage. Again, thank you to both of them for joining us at this hour.